He spent his last coin, and destiny opened the door.
He spent his last coin of his life on a dying horse, and the entire city laughed. Some called him crazy, others foolish, but no one knew that in that moment, Harith wasn't just buying a wounded animal, he was buying back his lost honor and reshaping his destiny. Harith had once been the city's most skilled carpenter. His hands didn't just carve wood, they turned ordinary planks into dreams. Wealthy households displayed his intricate designs and exquisite craftsmanship. Every door, every piece of furniture was a testament to his talent. Yet, as often happens with success, envy crept in. A powerful merchant, jealous of Harith's skill, falsely accused him of theft. In a single day, his workshop was sealed, clients vanished, and neighbors looked away. Harith's mother was ill, rent overdue, and the few coins he had saved for her treatment were all he had left. The world seemed to have turned its back on him. One afternoon, in the crowded corner of the market, Harith noticed an old, wounded horse being dragged by its owner. Its body was scarred, legs trembling, eyes filled with pain. "It's useless now, let it die," the owner shouted. The crowd laughed at the sight, but Harith felt a deep, piercing pain. He saw his own helplessness reflected in that animal. Without a second thought, he pulled out the last coins he had saved for his mother and handed them to the owner. "It's mine now," he whispered. Laughter erupted. "He left his mother to buy a dying horse," someone mocked. But Harith remained silent, guided by something deeper than reason. He brought the horse to his small hut, cleaned its wounds, shared half of his bread, and stayed by its side all night. Looking at the sky, he whispered, "O Allah, I did this for you. Forgive me if I am wrong, but I could not watch it die." That night, despite his poverty, Harith felt a peace he hadn't known in years. Compassion had brought him a quiet strength. A few days later, a violent storm swept through the city. Rain pounded the walls, and his fragile hut threatened to collapse. Suddenly, the horse stirred nervously, nudging Harith toward the field behind his hut. Through the roaring storm, Harith followed. The horse stopped at a spot and began pawing at the earth. Trembling, Harith dug and soon struck an old wooden chest buried beneath the soil. Inside were ancient documents and land deeds, the very land that had belonged to his late father, taken unjustly years ago. It turned out the horse had once belonged to the merchant who betrayed his father. Somehow, the animal had returned to the land it remembered, as if it knew the way home. Harith summoned the courage to take the case to court. Townspeople laughed again, but this time, truth was on his side. The documents were real, the evidence undeniable. Weeks later, the verdict came. The land was rightfully Harith's, and the merchant was declared guilty. Those who had mocked him now stood at his door, offering congratulations. Harith rebuilt his workshop, but before expanding his business, he built a shelter for injured and abandoned animals. When asked why he didn't focus on business first, he smiled. "My destiny was changed by a voiceless creature. How could I ever forget that?" Time passed. Harith's name was once again spoken with respect. His mother received proper care. His life flourished. Yet the true power of this story wasn't in wealth. It was in the moment he chose mercy over fear, compassion over logic. Sometimes we think we've lost everything, but Allah is quietly writing the greatest twist in our story. When you support the helpless, destiny begins to change silently in your favor. Because sometimes Allah writes our destiny not through skill, but through mercy.